Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the North Tonawanda Visual Arts Performing Arts Induction. My name is Greg Wojtyla, and I'm the proud superintendent of the North Tonawanda City School Districts. In a minute, we will start the induction ceremony and learn more about the amazing inductees who will be going up on the wall this afternoon. First, before we get started, I'd like to thank a few people that without their help, we would not be able to do this presentation today. First, there is the Visual Performing Arts Selection Committee. These members review the submissions that are sent in and help plan this event. If you are a member of this selection committee, please stand and be recognized. There is a full list of the induction committee on the back of your program as well. Next, we have the technology staff that does everything from the online applications to the presentation you will be seeing this afternoon. Mrs. Jane DiVirgilio and Mr. Patrick Kolesko. Thank you very much. The person that keeps everything organized, does all the mailings and keeps us on task, which is not easy some days, is my secretary, Mrs. Karen Swaitner. Thank you very much. And of course, none of this would even be possible or even have gotten started without the conviction, foresight, and continued support from Dr. George and the Remember Ryan Foundation. North Tonawanda is celebrating its 150th anniversary this year as a city school district. And so it is very fitting that we had an induction ceremony for the performing and visual arts that celebrates the accomplishments that students and educators have made to help make North Tonawanda the best it can be. Part of the criteria for being selected for this honor is to be a former student or current or past staff member that got their start and made a difference in the area of the performing and visual arts. Making a difference in the world for the better is what schools are all about. We will meet and learn about 4 spectacular individuals today who have made a difference by touching the lives of so many through their love and passion in what they do every day. At the end of the program today, we will gather in the hall right behind us, and the inductees will unveil their plaque on the Wall of Fame. Each inductee was asked to provide the name of a person to do their introduction for them. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to announce our first presenter. Many of you will recognize her from the local news, but her real claim to fame is being a North Tonawanda graduate and an inductee member of the North Tonawanda Visual Performing Arts Wall of Fame. Please welcome our first presenter, Mary Alice Devon.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. It is really my pleasure to be here this afternoon. They say that many times when you have an opportunity to reach what you consider your personal career pinnacle, you can't help but look back on all the people and the places that help make you the person that you are today. And I very fondly, pretty much on a daily basis, get to think about my career here at North Tonawanda High School and all the wonderful people that inspired me and challenged me and gave me wonderful opportunities to self-actualize as a professional. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Norm Alexander, who's here. Spent wonderful years in the concert and marching band here at NT. But little did I know, the man who taught me expository writing in 11th grade, and who was also the advisor for our telecommunications club, would have an even more profound impact on my career choice as I chose television journalism as my particular career path. When I first entered television in the early 90s, my contemporaries were blown away to know that I had an opportunity when I was in high school in the early 80s to be on the air. To be on the air every day if I chose, whether that was being a DJ, doing morning announcements, or actually doing news and weather for all of my classmates in my high school. And they would look at me as if maybe I was making it up, and it wasn't really true. But that was part of the foresight, part of the genius of Paul Belter that I know Mark would be so happy to be here today to share in this recognition. We're thrilled, Paul, that you are here with us as well to share in Mark's achievements. So it is with great pleasure today, and also as a current member of the Hall of Fame, that I helped highlight another one of my contemporaries from the early 80s at NT, Mark Bonn. He was actually from the class of 1980, and he also, like myself, credits a course here at NT in television production that was taught by Paul Belter as the inspiration that ultimately pointed Mark in the direction that has led him to an award-winning career in television editing and documentary filmmaking. Mark has received 8 Promax Awards for editing, which is the industry's highest achievement, as well as Telly Awards for excellence in editing and documentary television. And as our production team at Channel 2 efforts every single year to win these awards or just get nominated, I can appreciate how difficult it is to win one, let alone 8 of the Promax in particular. Now, 2 of Mark's works as director-editor have garnered multiple industry awards. Wings of Silver, the V. Cowden Star, was voted Best Documentary Short in the Artemis Women in Action Film Festival, the Sedona International Film Festival, Black Hills Film Festival, and Ventura Film Festival, and the Renier International Film Festival. It also received the prestigious Audience Award at the Port Townsend Film Festival, the Gig Harbor Film Festival, and our very own Buffalo Niagara Film Festival. In Times of War, Ray Parker's story was voted Best Documentary in the Beverly Hills Shorts Festival, Sedona International Film Festival, the Boulder International Film Festival, and the Festivus Film Festival. It also received the first place documentary short award at the Rehart International Film Festival, and at the time of his induction into the Wall of Fame, Mark and his wife Christine produced and directed the acclaimed documentary film series In Times of War Documentary Project, a history told by the men and women who wrote it. And now let me direct your attention to the screen so that we can see a video presentation of Mark's achievements.
I fit under this really slick. I never did do this before. The thing that's so amazing to me, this plane always looked so little to me when I was flying it. When you see you see big planes flying all around you, like the B-17, the B-24. This looked like a little plane, but it looks so big to me today. This looks huge. My name is Vi Cowden, and I was a Women's Air Force Service pilot during World War II.
Everyone should see this, man. Dude.
I was on an airplane. Holy.
Oh, it's gonna be on our tree.
Check out how crazy that looks.
What is this?
Is it coming towards us?
I know, it's still there.
We must ask ourselves, are we truly alone, or are we being lied to?
You exchange gunfire with this man, but you have no idea who he is.
Freeze it right there. It's power. What's going on?
I intercepted intel framing an assassination attempt on President Heller here in London today and traced it back to your organization.
Jack Bauer is a traitor and a psychopath.
I thought you said she was a friend.
I don't have any friends.
Bauer!
You know who I am.
You ought to be able to look your enemy in the eye, don't you think?
When has that ever stopped us before?
We have a small problem. They've reopened the X-File.
I'm sure you might be thinking what I'm thinking. Aside from all these wonderful awards that Mark has won, I've watched a lot of his work on television and had no idea that he was a member of my North Tonawanda class. So it is really with great pride that we induct into the North Tonawanda Hall of Fame Mark Bonn, and with a few words, his wife Christine. Unfortunately, because of injury, Mark was not able to be with us. He was unable to do cross-country travel, but we are thrilled to have Christine here to speak on his behalf.
Hi, I just want to say really quickly that Mark is so sorry he couldn't be here. This means the world to him. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So honored and so happy to be getting this, and he would be thrilled to know that Mr. Belter is here. So he's going to be very disappointed when he finds out he missed that. But thank you again. This really means so much to him, and I want you guys to be aware of that because it's a big deal to him. So thank you very much.
I want to thank you so much for this honor. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to appear in person, but unfortunately a work-related injury has me laid up for a bit. If someone were to tell me 37 years ago that I'd be a successful producer, director, editor in Los Angeles, I would have said you're crazy. Let me take you back. The year was 1980, my senior year. I was shop foreman of my diesel mechanics class in BOCES and president of VICA, Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. A fellow classmate told me of a class that he had taken in television production that was an easy A because the book hadn't come in. I signed up immediately. The book came in. There is no way at that time I could have predicted what seemed like a disaster turned into a life-changing event. I owe my start to Mr. Belter's television production class and North Tonawanda High for including it in its curriculum. Mr. Belter's enthusiasm was contagious. I began to feel the need to make films. Here's the first film I ever made. It was for Mr. Cerrone's media studies class, and it was before MTV even started. Music videos were becoming popular, and I thought I'd do this.
Now believe me when I tell you that my song is really true. I want everyone to listen and believe it's about some little people from a long time ago. And all the things the neighbors didn't know. Early in the morning, Daddy Dinky went to work, selling lamps and chairs to San Bernardino squares. Ronnie saves his newbies on a window in his room, a marvel to be seen, dysentery green. Andy and his buddies had a game out in the back. Let's make the water turn black. We see them after school in a world of their own. To some it might seem creepy what they do. The neighbors on the right sat and watched them every night. I'll bet you'd do the same if they was you. Whizzing and pasting and booting through the day. Rodney helping, Kenny helping burn his kids away. And all the while on a shelf in the shed, Kenny's little creatures on display. Rodney's in the army now and Kenny's taking bills. Oh, how they yearn to see a bomber burn. Color flashing, thunder crashing, dynamite machine. Wait until the fire turns green. Wait until the fire
there's that. After graduation, North Tonawanda was just getting cable. So I went to the cable station and they said, we don't have equipment yet, but if you want to get in on the ground floor, you could sell cable subscriptions door to door. I jumped at the chance to get into showbiz. The 10th house that I knocked on, the door opened and it was my instructor from BOCES, from Diesel Mechanics. And he looked at me and he said, what are you doing? I guess, selling cable. He goes, why aren't you a diesel mechanic? I said, because there's no diesel mechanic jobs. He said, go to Twin City Auto Parts, say my name, and you'll get a job. Sure enough, I was back into diesel mechanics. By the end of that summer, I realized I had no passion for mechanics. I had passion for television. So I went and enrolled at NCCC for Communication Media Arts, and the craziest thing was that the book that they use is the exact same book that Mr. Belter used in his high school class. While at NCCC, I got my first job at Global Cable Television in Lockport. MTV launched August 1st, 1981, and around that same time, Rock Notes premiered.
Good evening, I'm Mark Bonn and welcome to Rock Notes. On tonight's show we feature the band Pretty Poison. We caught up with them over the Bayview in Hamburg, and here they are.
That show ran for 3 years, until I finally got my big break. WNED was looking for a sound person for their documentary department. I was at the right place at the right time. I was so fortunate to have the opportunity to work with two of the greatest news documentarians in the business, Fran Luca and Ron Arnold. What an amazing experience. Every day I learned something new. They had high-tech gear and I ate it up. In a short time, I was promoted to cameraman. Computerized editing was just starting, and Channel 17 had the coolest of them all, the CMX 340X. It had an entire room dedicated with computers and air conditioning and filtration just to run this editing system. I realized editing is where I want to be. In 1986, I moved to Los Angeles and my main focus was editing. I got a job at a upstart little company that a lot of people didn't think was going to be around very long. They were doing a crazy attempt of making a fourth network. For those of you that are too young to know, back in the early days of television, there was only 3 networks. Actually 4 if you consider PBS, but I don't know why they never considered that. But anyways, I digress. The fourth network, they kept saying, was this impossible thing to happen. And this little company called Fox decided to try it. There was 2 nights a week of programming when I started, and one of the early shows I worked on had this guy named Johnny that he went on to other things.
Something's going on. In the city. In the streets. In the night. Something hot. Something cool. Something else. Johnny Depp. Richard Grieco. Peter DeLuise, Holly Robinson, and Dustin Gwynn. The most intense place on television. 21 Jump Street. Sundays on Fox.
I edited that. The network kept growing and growing and getting better and better shows.
Roll it, dude!
If you like a change that can be arranged, tell them now. It's on Fox. No matter what the mood, it's a whole new attitude. Tell them now. It's on Fox. Fox is gonna wake you up and it's gonna make you happy. It's on Fox.
Okay, folks, here comes the big finish!
It's on Fox with you.
I edited that too.
I'm out of here.
28 years later, it's still there. But during all this time, one of the things that really I felt was missing from my life was documentaries. Back in 2002, my wife and I, who I met at Channel 17, formed our own little company and started doing the In Times of War documentary project.
During World War II, I was a navigator in the 8th Air Force. We were based at Tibenham in England, and we had what was called the Liberator bomber. It was a B-24, and our group was the 445th, and I was in the 703rd Squadron, and my commander, believe it or not, was Major Jimmy Stewart, the movie star. He was a superb commanding officer. He flew 20 missions himself, just a great human being, and I'm very proud that I served with him. And so he led my first mission.
When I get in the air, I am so comfortable. I feel like I belong there. When I'm in the air, I have no fear at all. I mean, that's just where I belong. I always say the worst thing about flying is coming back to Earth. That's the hardest thing for me. I would stay up there. I would. But you do run out of gas.
There are so many people and events that have led me to where I am today, but it all has to start somewhere, and that place is right here. I can't thank Mr. Belter or North Tonawanda High enough for starting me on this journey. A journey that I could never have predicted. A journey that's continuing. A journey that an enthusiastic, ambitious, visionary teacher, Mr. Belter of North Tonawanda High, helped me begin. Thank you all for this awesome award.
I wasn't lying when I told you it was going to be pretty spectacular, huh? So, as we move through our program then, our next presenter is Miss Josephine Sinaguya, and she has some words for our next inductee. Please put your hands together.
First, I'd like to say I'm happy to be here and to see so many of my former students. Didn't think I would. And so many teachers that I taught with. I'm here on behalf of Cindy Bradley, who I met in 4th grade at Spruce School. She was a little girl with bangs and a sweetheart, and she is today, I'm sure. We met in 4th grade, where we taught quarter, which I know some of your parents think, oh my God, it was the worst sound in the world. But it was a necessity, and we did the best. I enjoyed quarter, and I think Cindy did too. At the end of the year, we would have a concert in 4th grade. And I would always give, we as teachers always gave an aptitude, music aptitude test. And it was on melody, as some of you remember, melody, rhythm, and pitch. And we discovered from there we would go on to play brass instrument, drums, or other things like that. Well, some kids just didn't want to be bothered doing anything. Cindy never signed up for anything. And I would kind of follow her around saying, Cindy, she was very high on pitch. She needed her trumpet. And I needed trumpeters. I did brass. So finally, we convinced her, yes, she should take it. And she did. She played through 5th grade, 6th grade. I don't know if it's 5th or 6th. We had a good brass group. We had Drew Carere, who played trombone. We had Jamie Gallows, who played trombone. And we had Mr. Sidewell, who was our principal, who played trumpet. And we ended up with a nice trio. That was good. Then I lost track of her in high school. Middle school, didn't see much of her. And then I was saw Roy Sidewell not long after that. And he said, have you seen Cindy's CDs? And I said, no, I have not. So he directed me to some, and I got one. And she's amazing, just amazing. I'm so thrilled and so proud of her. She is known for her pink trumpet, so that's what she is known for. So she is, I see her on Facebook. That's how we connected again after all these years. And I'm an old lady, but to be on Facebook, but I'm nosy. And I like to know what's going on in the world. So that's how I keep going with it. Anyway, glad to be here, and here is a video on Cindy.
cute and little. Good afternoon. I'm thrilled and honored to be here today. Whenever I receive any kind of honor like this, I'm reminded how as we move through the journey of life, that many of us have been fortunate enough to have the path we've taken influenced by incredible, special people. And particularly important are our years spent in school, surrounded by adults and teachers who shape our personalities, our passion, and our futures. Along with being a musician, I've been a public school elementary band teacher for 15 years, just like Mrs. Seneguglia, who introduced me up here. And I can attest to the fact that we teachers often do not realize the positive impact that we have on the children in our care throughout our careers. So when Jane contacted me and said I could choose someone to introduce me today, Mrs. Seneguglia came to mind immediately. And I'm thrilled that she was here and able to do that. That meant a lot to me. When I was 6 years old, I began playing the piano. And my parents would have me and my brother alternate after school every day. One of us would practice the piano for 20 minutes and the other would do the dishes. So I have very smart parents. I think that made the piano playing seem much more appealing. As you know, in contrast with the dishes. And I liked playing the piano, but a couple years later, when I was in 4th grade, I remember Mrs. Seneguglia coming around and showing us the musical instruments we could play if we wanted to join the school band. And I didn't really think much of it. I didn't bring any of the paperwork home. There was a permission slip. I didn't bring it home. She came around and collected them. Didn't have one. And I do remember her coming and finding me and saying, "Cindy, don't you play the piano? You seem like you really like music and you're talented, and I think you should play the trumpet." And I said, "Okay," So I just circled a picture of a trumpet, and that was it. And the change that made in my life has just obviously shaped my whole life and made a lot of my dreams come true. So I want to say thank you to her. And then if I fast forward in my career in North Tonawanda, I went on to, that was at Spruce School, of course, and then I went on to Resel Middle School, where I had a wonderful band teacher named Mr. Frazier. And he made playing in the band so much fun. He was really cute, too. Was he? Yes, he was very cute. So I went to all those classes. And then in North Tonawanda High School, I had Mr. Alexander and Mr. Denny. I was in the marching band. I took music theory classes, played in pit orchestras, took school trips, grew friendships with my fellow student musicians that are strong to this day. And all while I was having all this fun, I didn't even realize I was discovering that making music was my reason for being excited to wake up every morning. The North Tonawanda Public Schools had definitely done their job. My teachers helped discover my talents and nurtured them. I'm extremely thankful to everyone in North Tonawanda that helped set me on the path that my life has taken. My kindergarten teacher gave me very important basic life skills from using the potty, snack time, but also just being a good person. And I actually had the blessing of having her as my 2nd grade teacher as well. Mrs. Finkel is here today, which is, yeah, you can clap. And she's another one that popped up on my Facebook, and I went, oh my God, that's great. So after high school, I went to college for jazz studies and music education at Ithaca College. Eventually moved to Boston and attended the New England Conservatory, got a master's degree in jazz trumpet performance. And then I moved to New York City to play jazz in the Big Apple before being signed to a record label in 2009. I've had 6 #1 singles on the Billboard chart and been able to tour all over the world playing my trumpet, that instrument that I chose randomly in Mrs. Senegulia's classroom 31 years ago. I've had the privilege to be a public school band teacher for 15 years in New Jersey. I love to play music, to see the world, to create, but there's nothing I find more enjoyable in my life than to share this passion for the arts with young people, as was done for me so many years ago here in North Tonawanda. So I'm very proud of where I came from, thankful for the teachers that helped shape my lives, and especially to my parents. I have the 2 greatest parents in the world, and they're here today too, so thank you to my mom and dad. And yeah. for years and years, and they endured that and encouraged it. So thank you to North Tonawanda High School and everyone on the panel that made this beautiful event happen. This is something I'll remember the rest of my life. I'm proud to be a part of the Performing Arts Wall of Fame, and thank those along the way here at NT that have made all my dreams come true. Thank you.
All right, our next presenter we'll welcome you to the podium in just 1 second. As I sit here and I'm listening and you've seen all the inductees, it's very important to remember that they're making differences now in everyone's lives, and the next two that you're going to hear are doing the same thing in the schools as well. And it just hit me, it's like, who's going to be up here in 20 and 30 years and the difference that everyone's making? It's just a very, very moving day and very great people being honored today. So without further ado, we have our next presenter, Stephanie Boyce.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, April, for asking me to do this. April Carere, who I know as April Biro, we met sophomore year at SUNY Fredonia. Both music education majors, both clarinet players, and she was as big as life to me. She was one of those people that, gosh, she played beautifully. She knew everyone. Personality was as big as life. And then sophomore year, she asked me if I would come and live in her apartment and, share college time together, which I was looking for a place, she was looking for a roommate, and it all worked out. Well, we've been friends ever since, and very, very close friends, all through these years. And I've watched her grow, starting as, like I said, as in our sophomore year, just trying to figure things out, trying to figure out where we were going and what we wanted to do. And I can tell you, her passion for music at that time was so fierce. She just loved everything about it, and it brought excitement to my life. I was this shy little Polish girl from Amsterdam, New York, and really didn't know too much about the music world. And to have a friend like that meant everything to me. So, while we were at Fredonia, she became president of the Music Educators National Conference student chapter. We would sit together and talk about ideas of things that we wanted to do, talk about what was happening in Mason Hall, which was the music hall there. And we just learned about how we wanted to become teachers, or what we want to be as music educators. And we graduated, time went on, she got married, I got married, and we lived on opposite ends of the state. But we always came together, at least once or twice a year, to talk about what we were doing. And I started out in elementary music and then moved on to middle school and then high school. But April always had a passion for the younger student, the elementary student. And once in a while I used to sit there and say, well, do you think you maybe want to move on into a different level or do something else? And she just loved what she did. And she brings out the best in those students. She gives them opportunities to perform all over. She gives them opportunities to learn about music and to understand the beauty of music. And I think that is what she brings to music education that is so unique. Understanding the beauty of music. So I quickly asked your three children about if they wanted me to say anything. And Jill's first response was, well, she taught me about how to do those basics in music. She was pretty strict about it. And she said long tones. Long tones are the best thing to do, right, Jill? And of course, we all know that is probably the mainstay of any music educator, to give those basic lessons. And Russ said, well, I'm just so in awe of her because here I am working on finishing my master's, and she did it with 3 young children. Can you imagine that? And she worked at it all the time. And Justin, well, Justin is just such a, I don't know, he's like a tickle, I think. He's just such a great guy, and very easygoing. And he was just, you know, he's also in awe of everything that April has done and how she served as an example to them. Can you be any better than to have 3 children who will carry on in the Carere tradition of music education? That was a very strong background that she created. I'm just so amazed by how her love of music and her love of young people has come together. And it has shined so brightly, especially in the Remember Ryan concerts that April has done for so many years and has celebrated that beautiful young life. She brings the beauty of music to that concert, the joy of performing, the joy of taking young children and letting them have that opportunity to perform. It's something that is just so special because those children will move on in their lives and they will also share that with other people. Music is such a beautiful art, but it takes an even more beautiful person to make it come alive. And that's my verdict. And now I think we're going to see a video.
Take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance.
One of your favorite things that happened over the past couple days?
The teachers, they were just so kind. If one of us made a mistake, then they would say, it's okay. You don't have to restart or anything. You just bring it off from the top. And
I like that.
I like the bonding activities because I actually made more friends than I thought I was going to.
Nice.
One of my favorite things was playing the best music with my friends and just listening to pieces of music.
Yeah.
My favorite activities was the guessing game with the music. They would play like 10 seconds of a song and you'd have to guess who the artist was.
Musical Masters? Yeah.
I like it because there's a different conductor for every piece, and I like how some of the instruments we don't have in our school they have here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
I'd say one of my favorite things about Summer Honors Band Camp was really actually just playing the music, because a lot of the music is really really fun, really fast tempo, and it's just great to play.
Yeah.
Hanging out with everybody during snack time and just doing all these activities.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I like that a lot. I'm putting that in the slideshow.
Not gross, not ugly, but just beautiful.
I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, and nothing, oh, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, oh yeah baby, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah. You got a friend. If the sky above
Now we'd like to present that award to April Carere.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a humbling experience. I'm going to keep this very short. We weren't sure how long we were going to speak, and I just want to say a few things. I stand by the fact that I'm not even sure why I'm really up here, because that's just doing my job. I do love it, and I do love teaching, and I enjoy my time here in North Carolina. It's just turned out incredibly interesting. As Cindy said, it just comes together. cliches. So my three kids are here and performs. It's wonderful. As I look out, I think at each table, there's someone that contributed to that video. Joe Sinagulia had my kids. My friends Jim and Sue Perkowski are here. Jim is on the wall, and he's a near North Tonawanda Red people he's just famous. He's just a wonderful musician and a great, great friend. My kids' music teachers, Norm Alexander. My principal, Janet, who is here supporting me. The people behind me, Dr. George, Padalesco, Greg Witilla. These are people that just believed in me. And I know we use that term lightly. It's always in the back of our programs. Thank you, and we support you. But that word support, we really do mean they support us in our crazy thinking, in our students, and our concerts, and our extra activities, and things that we want to do. We need that support from our school sometimes. I know Ms. Singulia talked about that seashore test that they gave out years ago. Well, I took that test 50 years ago. Maybe it wasn't even called the seashore test then. And I remember a man came to our little town, our little, almost like a one-room schoolhouse, and I was praying that I would pass that test. My hands were clenched and my teeth were clenched, and he came back to announce who could take an instrument, and he said my name. And I get that feeling right now today. And of course my mom, who's here, made sure I hit a clarinet, and I started doing my things with the clarinet. And I know we're talking a lot about educators. There are two educators that are not here, Mr. Mercado and Mr. Goodman. Mercado was just my classroom 6th grade teacher, but he taught us above and beyond. He actually took us outside to look up at the stars on a dark night so we could learn more about the stars. And I remember thinking, wow, this man is a teacher. Maybe I'll be like him someday. And then I was so lucky to have the influence of Wally Goodman, who some of you know was my high school band director, and he was old school, he was tough, but he had the respect and my honor beyond my respect and my honor. He was one of those teachers that worked harder than anybody, and I ultimately went to Carere to become a music teacher because of him. And met Steph, of course, met my husband Russ. And then, when I finally went back and finished my degree, I got a job here in North Tonawanda, John Rewarda's job, and John is here. John has went on to also become famous. I was so lucky to get his job, and he left me in a great position. And then, I went over to Gilmore School, and for those of you that know, there's this Gilmore School mystique, and I found out what it was within 5 minutes of walking in that building, that it was filled with teachers that went the extra mile. If a student needed you to stay after school, you stood after school. And we didn't always play by the rules there. We sometimes had to twist them and bend them, but it was always for the kids. And I thought, I'm falling in love with this job. I had some building to do. There were 8 kids in the band that year. And I thought, okay, kids, we have some work to do, which turned me into find out about the Remember Ryan Foundation. I think it was Padalesco that said, you can get a grant and we can get some instruments for these kids. What you saw in the video, we played outside at the Remember Ryan Garden, and that has now turned into a huge thing at my schools. It's what we do every year. We now have it at the Riviera Theater, and my students know about Ryan, and they know why that we've had thousands of dollars poured into our program and can supply them instruments, which is so important. So many of you out there, thank you so much for this. In closing, I just want to say, I truly just feel that I'm an advocate for music education, if anything, and I enjoy doing that because it does open the children's heart and their minds up to music. And when I see a little light go off and a little spark in their eye, you don't know what's happening. You don't know that somebody said in 20 years, Greg just said, in 20 years they could be up here. And that hope is what carries us on in the arts. And it's very, very special. I consider it an invaluable treasure when I get little notes from students, a little heart. You're my best teacher of all. I can't throw those out. I've got hundreds at my house, It's sort of like a hoarding house. I can't throw them out. They're treasures. We were just preparing for my upcoming concert, and I'm tough on my kids sometimes too. I said, you know, we have to work on our sound quality. Tone, tone, tone. Long tones, long tones. And I told them, you know, we can make the angels or the parents weep with joy, or we can make them run for cover. But as long as you're willing to work with me, we're going to make them weep for joy. And I hope that's what I've done with my students. They have taught me so much. You have taught me much. People behind me have taught me so much. And I hope it keeps on going like that. I hope the puzzle and the circle that we've created here continues. The students that have been walking in, which you're going to hear about Dean Vallas after me. I hope that this continues and that you keep supporting the arts and functions like this and your students, your kids, your grandchildren in the future. Thank you so much.
All right, so our next inductee is Mr. Dean Vallas, and he's not known to do things by the book either. So we are starting with a video introduction, so please turn your attention to Mr. Vallas' video. Thank you.
We had come so far in darkness, on a road both harsh and long. But in a flash he found us, and guided us with song.
With hope and dedication, he told us we were stars.
And then with recognition came credit entirely ours.
And through this pride he helped us be the best that we could be.
Finding voices from within us that sang more than musically.
He recognized our talents, gave us each some fame.
And this brought us together to become a glowing flame. Someone somehow taught us that we could light the dark.
And now we, the brightest stars, give credit to the spark.
Holly Beckett, class of 1998.
My name is Renee Spears Obringer. I graduated in the class of 1998 from...
Hi, my name is Sydney Forster, and I'm a 2008 graduate of North Tonawanda High School.
Hi, my name is Tara Fletcher. I attended North Tonawanda High School from 1996 to the year 2000.
Hi, my name is Marissa. I graduated in 2014 from NTHS, and I was a chorus and drama kid there.
Hi, I'm Rayanne from the class of 2003.
Hey everyone, it's Tori from the class of 2014.
Hi, I'm Mary Jean Reinders from class of 2010.
Hi, I'm Haley Wilmot, class of 2010.
I'm Melanie Lewis, class of 2009. And
It is Mary Rung here, and I am from the class of 1999.
It's Nick from the class of 2013.
Hi, I'm Shayna Seiler. I graduated in 2005.
Hi everyone, this is Matt Kennedy from the class of 2009.
I met the Vallases, and in chorus, Mr. Vallas was always telling us to basically believe in ourselves and to not give up. And you can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it. And I took that to heart.
I'm currently sitting in my office at my job as a special education teacher, inspired by Dean to work with kids and help kids and inspire them to become anything they want, anything that they wish they can be based on his constant encouragement and humor and sarcasm and love.
So much fun. I have so many fond memories of building sets and rehearsing and all of the things that we used to do to prepare.
I just want to thank Dean for giving me such a deep appreciation of learning music in other cultures, other languages. It gives you this kind of united feeling, and it just makes you feel tied to something that's maybe an ocean away from you, or across the ocean, I should say.
I was blessed to have Mr. Vallas as a teacher during all of those 4 years. I sang in his choruses and spent many lunch periods with friends in his office. In addition to teaching us, he also shared his love and appreciation for music with us. He also dealt with our teenage angst with the perfect mix of patience, kindness, and sarcasm. I also spent, in addition to spending my school year with Mr. Vallas, I was also lucky enough to perform in his touring performance group, The Spirit of Youth, during my summers. His wife, Christine, was my private voice teacher on the weekends, and they were both in attendance at my wedding.
Well, you took basically a very small production. They said, here's the old gym, do what you will. And you made it into this huge production, which everyone loves. And I think that's a really big achievement, so good for you.
For me, I really enjoyed being a part of such an amazing group of singers and friends, all singing together in unison for a common cause, together as a team. And as far as
He means so much to so many students over the years. He's given his all to everyone. So I want to just thank him for all his years of dedication and service to the community of North Tonawanda and to all his students. We really appreciate everything you've done. You've changed our lives in more ways than you would ever know.
Mr. Vallas always taught us to be thankful, and he was always there for us, no matter what we needed. I remember he was one of the first persons that found out I got accepted in nursing school, and although it wasn't for music, he was super happy for me. He was one of my favorite teachers, and I have a lot of great memories.
I chose my career path largely due to Mr. Vallas's influence. I've been teaching music for the past 12 years in a school in Southwest Michigan. Thousands of my students have been influenced because of Mr. Vallas and are grateful for him as well.
So thank you so much for everything you do, for everything you've done for me, for everything you do for the kids. I know they probably don't appreciate it nearly as much as they will when they get older, but thank you. And congratulations.
Have a deep love for Dean and the choral department. Once you're a lumberjack, you're always a lumberjack. And I have something a little extra. Once a bell, always a bell. Congrats, Dean. It is well deserved.
So I just wanted to send my appreciation of that, and I'm so happy that you have been given this award. It's a great honor, and you deserve every bit of it because of what you've taught us.
Mr. Vallas, you deserve this.
So thank you so much, and congratulations on this award, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Vallas. Yes, sir.
Congratulations on your award, Dean. It is well deserved. Thank you for your years of dedication and service in the field of music education.
Hi, Mr. Vallas. Thank you for all the brand new songs you taught each and every one of us in the North Tonawanda High School choir room over the years. With those songs came life lessons, lots of laughter, and of course some of the best memories we will all treasure for years to come. Thank you for also being such an inspiration and a mentor to those of us who joined you in the world of music education. It's because of you that I'm in my room right now, my music room, and also that I have the pleasure of working with some of the most wonderful kids from the Lancaster community. Congratulations again on being named to the Wall of Fame. take a moment to first congratulate the other inductees who will join the Visual and Performing Arts Wall of Fame today. Your accomplishments are truly showcasing the dedication and hard work that you put forth, and they serve as an inspiration to us all. I would also like to thank Mr. Dean Vallas for inviting me to be part of this special ceremony today. It's truly an honor to be here and to introduce my teacher, friend, mentor, and big brother I never met, and of course the maestro of the NTHS choirs. When Dean first asked me to speak about this, I was a little overwhelmed. What can I say on behalf of the thousands of students that he has touched over his 22 years here at the North Tonawanda High School? I immediately visualized the ending of Mr. Holland's opus. I began worrying about how to bring that final musical reunion scene to life right here, right now. But let's be honest, it's May, and we know that wasn't in the budget for this year. We will try again for your retirement. It gives you time to catch up to my hairstyle too. I've heard it said before that students in your classroom or in your choir, they like to make music, of course, but they're not there because of your song choices. They are there because of you, the conductor. Those words have always stayed with me and couldn't be more true when thinking of Mr. Dean Vallas today. North Tonawanda students of the past 20 years were all drawn to a bold, energetic, enthusiastic, daring, and passionate teacher. Each day when we walked into his room, he made us laugh with his endless sarcasm, and of course those funny phrases, dance to his original choreography, and perform at the highest level as a professional musician with a true sense of expression. Above all, he believed in us, he valued us, and he cheered for us like no other. And talk about believing, he took a 14-year-old boy who was a freshman in the high school and made him part of his master's recital and made him learn the harpsichord in 3 months. That was somebody who really believed it, so I want to thank him for that start that he gave me my first year in the high school. On behalf of the students from the late 90s, I would like to brag a little. Here are some special memories from our years with the amazing Dean Vallas. We were at the beginning of his career in NT. We were the first students to perform cabaret nights in a small cafeteria. We performed at his master's degree recital at Slee Hall. We were the first students to travel with him to New York City and to Disney. We were the first to hear stories of the Giving Tree and Warm Fuzzies. We were there to celebrate the birth of his first son, and we got to see Dean turn 30 the first time. Over the years, Dean has served in many leadership roles within the district and in Niagara County. He has also been welcomed as a guest conductor for choirs across the Western New York region. He has been recognized and awarded by the Buffalo Philharmonic for his excellence in music education as well. He has worn so many hats for so many people, and although this award is in the category of arts, there's a special poem by Stacy Bogino that fits him perfectly. With a few small edits, this sums up the person and teacher that Mr. Vallas is. He's a counselor and a psychologist to the problem-filled child. He's a police officer that controls the teen gone wild, or teens. He's a travel agent that sketches the trips for the year. He's a confidant that consoles a crying teen's fear. He's a banker collecting money for fundraising and things. He's a librarian that shows the adventure a book of music can bring. He's a custodian that has to clean certain little messes. He's a psychic that learns all that everybody only guesses. He's a photographer capturing each choir member's growth. While a mother and father are gone for the day, he becomes bold. He's a doctor that detects when a teen is feeling sick. He's a politician that knows the laws and recognizes a trick. He's a party planner for banquets to celebrate all. He's a decorator of a room thoughtfully filling every wall. He's a news reporter updating on all the school events. And he's a detective solving mysteries and ending all suspense. He's a clown and comedian that makes us all laugh, and a dietitian who loves chocolate and might share a half. When kids stray from values, he becomes a loud preacher. But we're glad he does them all because he's more than just a teacher. Let's not forget that through his career, Dean has also been a hardworking, supportive, and loving husband and father. He is surrounded by a truly, truly wonderful family who is his foundation and a huge part of his success. There's part of my song that my students sang in the video that you didn't get to hear. The text says, "If I sing and you sing, the world will sing along. The music will move us, and together we will write a brand new song. We can change the world if we just write a brand new song." Carere students, thank you for giving us the voice to write our own song. You may never know how your passion for music has influenced all of our lives, but today's induction will serve as a lasting memory of the amazing person you are. It's my deepest pleasure to welcome Mr. D. Vallas to the stage.
Sitting there with my family, and just like my students know, we have allergies. I'm hoping that I don't have an allergy attack while I'm up here. Thank you so much. Thank you to Dr. George and the Remember Ryan Foundation for supporting the arts, and especially the Wall of Fame. It is so important here in North Tonawanda. Thank you to those who nominated me. Even though I'm not sure who you are, it does mean so much. To Greg Wojtyla, Pat Valesco, and the Wall of Fame Committee, I know how much work this all takes, and I appreciate your hard work. To my parents and my family for all of their love and encouragement. No musician gets anywhere without that. And my wife and my sons for all of your love and support, even when it takes me away from you. So almost 23 years ago, I was directing theater at a summer camp in West Virginia. And North Tonawanda called my parents' house on a resume I had submitted 2 years earlier. Since I was out of town, North Tonawanda gave me a phone interview and hung up on me 3 times. Later that evening, this was a long time ago, so I got to call the assistant principal from the camp payphones. She informed me that the district wanted to meet me, and I flew in and interviewed. I got to meet Art Pappas, and I got to meet Frank Ruggiero and Cal Diamond, and had a great time at my interview. The rest, as they say, is history, as I just finished my 22nd year at North Tonawanda High School. But things happen for a reason. And I truly believe I was meant to be here. I was shocked to learn of my nomination for the Wall of Fame. When I look at those pictured and those whose company I share today, I'm in awe over their achievements and successes. Lifetimes of honor for the arts are hanging in that hallway. Public fame and worldwide recognition can be seen as you take in each and every plaque. My claim to fame, I guess, are my kids, my students. They are the ones that are changing the world. They are earning that public fame in the arts and in education and in public service, in finance, business, and in so many fields. They are the ones that shine the light back to me and this high school, and I'm energized by them and inspired by them. Both past and present kids, I also thank them for the light that honors me today. And part of that is that I get to share them with you, some of the most amazing students at North Tonawanda High School. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce North Tonawanda High School's own Jackson Jills, accompanied by a super friend and I guess little brother, Mr. Michael Shamrock. So let's give us a minute.
Lori. And for those of you who maybe are alumni, we do this in honor of you and for Cindy and for Mark and everybody else who's honored today that are alumni. We call you home. I do it every year at the Pops concert in hopes that past kids are coming back to welcome our other kids into alumnihood. And also, Annie Laurie is our choir song coming from the Korean School Music. guys, and it's stand together.
way to end, considering that all our honorees were students at one point, either educators now who didn't go to NT, but they're influencing the lives of those who are coming. You sit here and think a minute that we have about 3,400 students in the North Tonawanda City Schools. It's a lot of good going out to the world. So I'm very proud of today's inductees and look forward to the future. Before I introduce our speaker for the closing remarks, I want to remind everyone that we will gather in the hall behind us to unveil the flags one at a time and take photos with the inductees. And then afterwards, they'll have coffee, tea, and cake in here for everybody. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you a citizen of North Tonawanda, a past superintendent of North Tonawanda, and a huge supporter of the arts in North Tonawanda. Please help me welcome to the podium the sponsor of today's program, the head of the Remember Ryan Foundation, and a good friend of ours, Dr. George.
There was a time when I had to prepare for a talk, whatever, that I would memorize the important points. Now, I have a great memory, fortunately. Unfortunately, I don't have same-day service any longer. So I'm going to use notes. I hope you'll bear with me. What I'd like to do is give you a little history of the Wall of Fame and talk a little philosophy. And I hope when I finish the talk and you leave, you go away thinking, well, at least it was short. The history lesson first. As all of you know, most high schools have an athletic wall of fame. Many high schools have other sorts of venues that honor scholastic achievement or alumni achievement. Very few specifically devote an area or a venue to honoring the Visual and Performing Arts Wall of Fame. I was a high school coach, so I always enthusiastically supported the Wall of Fame and recognition for athletes. I was also an art teacher, and I often wondered why we honored athletes, but we didn't honor artists. And when we finally had the opportunity to do something about that, back in 1996, when we approached the Board of Education about the idea of a Visual and Performing Arts Wall of Fame to go along with our Athletic Wall of Fame. And thanks to two individuals who were the most enthusiastic supporters of that idea on the Board of Education, Art Pappas, who was the president, and Steve Vallesko, who was a member, both are with us today, the Wall of Fame became a reality the following year. And we had our first induction ceremony in 1997. I wanted to check my facts because when I talk about North Tonawanda being unique and having a Visual and Performing Arts Wall of Fame, I usually say we're one of the few, if only school in the area that has a Wall of Fame. But to check my facts, I turned to the best source available, according to my grandkids, Google. And I typed in High School Visual and Performing Arts Wall of Fame. The very first item that popped up was the North Tonawanda High School Visual and Performing Arts Wall of Fame. I don't know if that was coincidence or if it was just the fact that we've been around for a long time, but that was the first one on the list, and there weren't very many others. So we are unique. There are very few Visual and Performing Arts Walls of Fame or Halls of Fame in the United States. When we organized the committee in 1996, it was with a group of people that the board appointed as the first committee. A couple of those individuals have remained committee members and are still committee members today. Norm Alexander and Pat Vallesko, and both of these gentlemen are with us today. We have inducted 34 members as of today, 34 members of the Wall of Fame, 25 as alumni, student graduates, 7 staff members, and 2 individuals who were honored as both a student graduate of NT High School, and a staff member, Norm Alexander and Dave Manth. The Remember Ryan Foundation became the sponsor of the Wall of Fame, and we couldn't be happier about what has happened with the Wall of Fame over the years that we've helped sponsor. Today's induction is particularly significant in that it's actually the 20th anniversary of our first induction. And that makes it special, but I think what also makes it special are the four amazing artists and artist educators that were inducted today. Starting with Mark Bonn, who didn't get that spark about the visual and performing arts until he was a senior in high school. That's a very non-traditional route into this profession. But it was the inspiration of a single teacher and a single class that turned him on to the arts, and obviously the rest is history. It brings to mind a quote from the most famous American philosopher, Yogi Berra, who once said, when you get to a fork in the road, take it. And Mark did just that. He got to the fork in the road between diesel mechanics and the wonderful world of the arts, and he took it. And as I said, the rest is history. And we had Cindy Bradley, who, as a fourth grader, couldn't escape the pursuit of Joe Sinaguglia, who was determined to turn her into a trumpet player. And you saw the results of that, and what an amazing musician she became. And the fact that she's also a music educator is just icing on the cake. And April Carere brings a particularly special note to this ceremony, the 20th anniversary, in that she's the first inductee who was, as a staff member, who was not a member of the North Tonawanda High School staff, but was honored and is being honored for the fact that as an elementary music teacher, she's directly responsible for hundreds of students who reach their peak as young musicians at the high school level. And the influence that she had and others like Joe Sinaguglia had as elementary music teachers can't be measured, because so much of the high school program depends on what happened back in the elementary grades. And of course, Dean Vallas, who came in 23 years ago, that's hard to believe, and came into an outstanding choral program. And over his time here, took it to an unbelievably new level, both the choral program and the theater program. So these four people, I can't think of four better representatives to be honored on the 20th anniversary of the Wall of Fame than the four inductees today. So to quote that famous philosopher one more time, Yogi Berra, it ain't over till it's over. And this ain't over until we've had a chance to recess to the Wall of Fame and have our newest inductees officially unveil their Wall of Fame plaques. So let's do that at this time. Thank you.
You're going to be first, but everybody here first for a picture. Cindy, April.
He was my teacher. I was his first.
Oh, Jill's got to take his picture.
Yeah.
She's got to get, come on, let's see if we can get you against the wall. See, Cindy?
Somebody brought me
You're going to be right here. It goes alphabetically. We're just going to wait for Cindy. We're going to take a picture before and after. Well, no, we want a picture of all of you lined up. That's not here yet. Jill wants a picture of us. Oh. I don't play by the rules, remember? Nothing like a photo bomb like super. You have the camera, Mr. Husband?
We're ready.
Okay.
Cindy, right there, that's all right. That's it. Handy to stand right here. We're going to take one before. If you look at Mr. Lesko here.
Yep, everyone look at me over here, please. Ready? All right. 1, 2, 3.
We're going to first take the picture.
Ready? Look over here. Give me a smile, April. Come on. There you go. All right, we got it. Thank you.
Okay, now you're each in front of yours, so on the count of 3, if you want to just pull the unveiling out.
Yep.
Yeah, look over here, please. Ready?
All right. 1, 2, 3. Wall of Fame. Come out. They put him out here.
Yay!
Okay, now a nice one with the plaques.
Ready? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Are you guys facing this way?
No, we gotta turn the other way.
This way for these
Okay. Oh, now.
Okay, facing this way.
How you doing?
Look here. 1, 2, 3. Wait. When we get one. Well, I don't know my good camera.
Yep, we'll do the switch room.
One more straight ahead, the windows right here, please. Thank you. I'm Mariella Stone. Yeah.
Oh, you are, Baba.
Yeah. Great.
Greg, you should have someone take our pictures.
We all do funny faces now.
Hey, Mark. Paul Belder here. How you doing? Oh yes, I got everything, and I didn't really have the opportunity, but also intentionally, I didn't want to. I like to talk more than even writing, and so I was going to call you, and I am going to call you.
Because it would be a long conversation.